y'all, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Misty, and of course the channel's name is Speculative Magpie. And we are here today to do a book review. This is a book I finished beginning of last week of April. And I decided to sit on it for a little bit so I could get my thoughts together. And well, I think it's time to do the last review for April now. And the book we are going to review is this one, DeathCoach by J.N. Williamson. And we're going to read the synopsis, and then we're going to come back and talk about it. Okay? So, the synopsis. While the town of Thistleigh slept, the sound of hoofbeats echoed in the night. An eerie, ominous sound that spoke of foreboding, evil, and terror. And out of the darkness it appeared. An ancient, intricately carved carriage powered by 4 gigantic black steeds. Looming just above the carriage, silhouetted by the moon, was the vampire, Lamia Zacharias. Older than time, reeking of evil, tonight she took on the form of a bird. Spreading her wings wide to help shadow the driver's hideous face, she accompanied him on his midnight journey, thirsty for the taste of fresh human blood, seeking out the next innocent victim to be taken by the death coach. Now, this book was written in 1981. And one of the things that I have noticed about books written in, vintage horror books, not all of them, but some of the ones that I've read, the synopsis on the back of the book has absolutely nothing to do with what the book's about. And that's DeathCoach. This is the first book. I got it backwards. I thought Death Angel came first, but it's actually DeathCoach, Death Angel, Death School, and then Death Doctor. There's 4 books in this series. I will not be reading the other 3. Oh, geez, guys. This book, beautiful cover. Beautiful cover. I bought this book because of the cover. It was just gorgeous. This book was written by someone who's very good at math. I can't really describe this book. I was talking to my husband about it, and I kind of equated it to the movie Trolls 2, which, if you know anything about horror movies or, 80s scary movies, Trolls 2 is kind of nefarious. And the book is actually about a family that moves to Thistleigh. Thistleigh is a town that was established 12 years before the family moved there. And it's Greek settlers, kind of Greek immigrants, very, very Greek, very old-fashioned, very, just wanting them there. They tried everything they could to keep this woman's, Mary's husband, his name was Barry, trying to keep him from buying a house there, but he bought a house there anyway, and then he passed away. So Mary and her 3 children went ahead and moved into this house that her husband bought. And the townsfolk were not as welcoming. The townfolk was very weird, very creepy. But the children acclimated pretty quickly to the town, while Mary still had some reservations. Now, I kept having to keep in my mind that this book was written in the 80s. And while I love 80s books, I love 80s movies, I love 80s music, TV shows, I'm a child of the 80s. That was glaringly obvious in this book. Oh my God. The author described Mary as having a certain beauty that only mature men would notice. While the 14-year-old daughter was described as beautiful and perky tits, and it was just, and then the eldest son was 6'2" and kind of dumb. And Lamia in here, she's a vampire. But she's only in like 3 or 4 scenes before she goes away, and a young woman with, this is my favorite description ever. How did he say it? I can't even remember. But globular breasts. There is nothing sexy about the word globular. And it was just so weird. The author was really great at setting the scene. There were this whole town is so secular, so closed in, that describing the otherness of this town, the author was fantastic about it. There were some seriously creepy scenes, and I went in here expecting a vampire novel. I got some sort of almost H.P. Lovecraft kind of thing going on, which I thought was awesome. But yeah, the book was, I don't know how to describe it. It just wasn't. I kept reading it just because I was so confused by it. And when I say this book was written by someone that's really good at math, I mean math actually plays a huge part in the book. I give it a 3 out of 5 stars simply on creativity alone. But you can definitely tell that this author has very set ideas on women. And it was just funny. It was, I mean, I'm kind of tempted to read the other 3 books simply just to see what happens. Because the next book talks about a whole series, the next book, Death Angel, being about, you know, Lamia. But this book was supposed to be about Lamia, and it wasn't. There were some weird descriptions of the youngest son in here that made me kind of think that back then we didn't have the words to say that the child was on the autism spectrum. So coming in through it on that angle and seeing that kind of descriptions for the youngest child was pretty interesting. Would I be able to recommend this book to somebody? Yeah, kind of. I mean, kind of like you recommend Trolls 2 to people. I don't know. I would really like to hear from other people if you've read this book, what you thought about it, what you took away from it. And sorry for all the sounds of my dogs walking around. He sleeps all day until I start doing a video. So yeah, DeathCoach was a 3 out of 5. Just really weird, really strange. Definitely kind of up there on the misogyny part of it. But, you know, what are you gonna do? Still would love to have this cover as a painting or a poster for my living room, and all the other covers look awesome. Just not going to be continuing the series unless I can find the other 3 for like a ridiculously cheap price. So yeah, that's my review on DeathCoach. An interesting mathematical take on creepy towns, kind of H.P. Lovecraftish, and kind of a little bit of vampires. Weird word usage that threw me out of the book on several occasions. And just not really sure this man is a fan of women. So there you go. I will talk to you later. Come back so we can talk some more about some books and things, y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.